That this week we're going to talk about letting the man be the initiator and the pursuer in the relationship.
I feel like it's still it's a middle ground. It used to be that the man was the captivator and the pursuer, but now it works both ways.
I think it's been completely mixed. A lot of men have lost a lot of courage and bravery when it comes to relationships.
I think in my interaction with just the everyday culture, I think females still want to be pursued.
It's kind of half again.
Oh man, the tables have turned. And like pointing back to what they're wearing, like that's just like, in my eyes, it's kind of just evidence of like, look at me, like pursue me, and like if you don't pursue me, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just like forcefully, like pursue you in a sense where it's like I'm gonna bear it all, versus the manning up.
Initially, I think the man should be the pursuer in the fact that that's just tradition.
For sure, the pursuer. Even though it's fearful, it is frightening. My own relationship, I was the pursuer, and to be completely honest, I don't regret it at all.
I would prefer to pursue.
I think the guy should be the pursuer, just to make the girl feel comfortable. I mean, I don't think the girl should be the first one to say something about it. Right. I think it should be the guy that initiates the conversation or initiates, hey, you want to go on a date or something like that.
Initially, dude, I mean, there's a reason why I'm 24 years old. I'm a single male, dude. I want to be the pursuer. Like, I want to be the man that initiates, and I want to be the one who treats a woman so well, and she knows that my goal isn't to get from her, but to give to her, and I want to serve her, and I want to give her my strength and like basically take care of her, And these girls that come to me and like, oh, Tarak, like you should like me, and like, oh well, trying to give me the hint and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm on to you, girls, I'm on to you. But it's just kind of like I trust that that they are just kind of in a stage where they're looking and they're trying to control the situation that they're in, versus like, God, I'm going to pursue you, and I trust that you will send a man my way that is going to love me, and that will just be that perfect depiction of Christ dying for his church. So.
If a girl is aggressive or she starts pursuing you, does that make you nervous? Does that put you off? Does that make you like a little more standoffish towards her?
Yes, because I know myself, and I know that sometimes I can be drawn to like a girl, like, oh, be with me, and like, let me text you. So I very much so am very like kind of like all right, well, that was hey, let's not do that.
All right. Starting in verse 1 of Ruth chapter 3, Naomi speaking, and she says, "My daughter, shall I not seek security for you, that it may be well with you? Now Boaz, whose young women you were with, is he not our relative? In fact, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Therefore, wash yourself and anoint yourself, put on your best garment, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. Then it shall be, when he lies down, that you shall notice the place where he lies, and you shall go in, uncover his feet, and lie down, and he will tell you what you should do." Then she said, "Sit still, my daughter, until you know how the matter will turn out. For the man will not rest until he has concluded the matter this day." So first of all, I'm not condoning that any of you go and uncover a guy's feet and lie down there. That would be really weird. Not sure I understand that part of the passage, but what I do want you to notice is that 2 times Naomi tells Ruth to place the things in the hands of Boaz. She says, you go, but you keep silent. You allow him to pursue the matter. And I remember one time the Lord even gave me that verse when I was like thinking of someone he said, sit still. And I'll put it on his heart if he's the right one, but you need to be still. The other thing I want you to notice is that she does tell her, wash yourself and anoint yourself and put on your best garment. So she's saying, you know, let the man be the initiator, but it's okay to use your feminine appeal at the same time. So I wanted to read you a quote. Of course, you know I love Audrey. So this is from her chapter on her charm. And it says, when flirting, be subtle. And so her quote is, there's never any need for any woman to ogle any man. Ogling only puts the men off. It scares them away. In fact, the faintest flutter of an eyelash should be enough. And I love that Audrey Hepburn said that just the mere flutter of your eyelash should be enough to captivate his heart if he's the right man for you. So I'm going to ask you in a minute, Kelsey, but right now I want Danny and Carly. So, ladies, and we'll start with you, Carly. Or no, I'll start with Danny so that it gives you time to think.
Okay, good.
You'll be the one that has time to think. Why do you think that the men in the video all said that they desired to be the initiator?
I think it's because men were created to have something that they want to conquer, and like that, not that they're like trying to conquer and claim a woman, like, you know, conquering a village, but that they have this like fire inside of them where they need to be the man and like to step up to something and complete the task.
Good. What do you think, Carly?
Oh gosh.
No pressure. Why did all the fellas prefer to be the initiator initially?
I mean, because they're men, like they're boys, they want to be the one to like win and
Yeah.
and like be the first to do it.
They
always
have a
wanna
more
win.
competitive
Oh yeah.
nature. So, for instance, if guys are, it can be anything from my daddy's stronger than your daddy in kindergarten to, you know, I can out bench press you to whatever. So it's almost, you think maybe the competitive spirit that men have in that. Okay. Would you prefer to initiate, or would you prefer to let the man initiate?
I prefer to let him initiate.
Why?
Because it's really fun, because I don't know, I like being romanced, or I like having somebody bringing like gifts or whatever it is to me, and it's just really like it makes sense that way to me, like to be the person that is being romanced.
Okay. What about you, Carly?
I'd rather let him start it, because I'd rather see what he can like bring and see what he can do for you.
I think I told you ladies this, but I was asking my boys this question, and when I asked my oldest son, he said, I would rather it be me, because if someone's going to get their feelings hurt, I would rather my feelings be hurt than the girl. So, you know, letting the guy start it, I think, is a... Y'all like that? Too bad he's only 13, right? Give him a couple more years. Okay, so most women would prefer the man to initiate. So, why do you feel so many of us don't wait for the man to initiate?
I think it's a fear that there's not going to be a man. Like, oh no, so nobody's gonna want to date me. I'm 15 years old and nobody's dated me yet, or I'm 25 and no one's asked me out yet, or I'm 33 and never kissed a man. And it's like, I need to go out there and find somebody because I don't know if that's really there for me.
Kind of like women feel like they have to take matters into their own hands, or it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That aspect. What do you think, Carly?
I mean, we're not patient enough, I don't think. Like, just wait. Like, we don't want to just sit and be patient and wait for someone. We'd rather go out there and see what we can do and try to bring someone to us.
I think that society in general, like we live in a society where everything's instant and we get what we want when we want it. And so maybe even in relationships, we haven't learned, hey, that guy's, I'd like to get to know him. And so instead of having the patience, just kind of like, I can't believe I had to wait in line for like 5 minutes at Starbucks. It's kind of the same thing. I can't believe I've liked him for an entire week and he hasn't even said hi to me yet. And so we kind of lose patience and go after that. So interesting. Okay, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. All right, and now I'm going to call up Kelsey. And the reason I'm calling up Kelsey is because Lupe said he was the initiator in the relationship, and that would be you. So for those of you who are watching this, the man in the video that said he was the initiator in his own relationship, and that's the way he preferred it. This is his relationship. So Kelsey, I guess last month I had you get up and just kind of tell your story about how y'all got together and things like that. But what I want you to tell us now is, out of Lupe's own mouth, he pursued you.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us when you took notice of the fact that, from my understanding, y'all were friends first.
Oh yeah.
Actually, y'all were frenemies first.
Yes.
Right? And then, so at what point did you notice that Lupe's feelings had changed? Like, what gave you the clue that he was now kind of shifting his mindset and thinking of you in a more romantical way?
Oh, that's hard because I wasn't even looking for a relationship. Like, I had no intentions of dating, and it was this summer, and we would just hang out, and I was just myself. I was the mystery without trying to be the mystery, because I wasn't showing that I liked him. I mean, of course, there'd be flirting because he's flirting with me, but I think when he started asking more personal questions, and he started, like when we would walk out the door, he'd place his hand on like the middle, like upper middle of my back, like, and let me walk first. Like, he was a little more protective of me and a little more of considerate of me. And then he left I don't know where he went, but he left, and I recognized that I missed him. And I was like, what? What's going on? And so I think like that all happened within a month or 2 weeks.
Did he ever tell you when his feelings changed? Like, have you ever talked about that?
I think, yeah, it was at the beginning of the summer, the first time he mowed my lawn. Your father brought it up. He's like, so about that blonde.
Sounds like my dad.
And I think Lupe had started recognizing his feelings have shifted, but he was very patient, because that was at the beginning of the summer, and he didn't tell me about his feelings until August. And so there was about 2.5 months in between there.
So do you think he was like thinking it through?
I think he was thinking it through, getting to know me more, getting to know my personality more, being more aware of me, how we interacted, just kind of asking all of his questions. He's very logical and very analytical and very, he's a green, if you know the personality colors.
So what do you think would have happened, ladies, if she just said his feelings started to change at the beginning of the summer, but he didn't make that known until the end of the summer because he's watching Kelsey, he's getting to know Kelsey, he's wanting to make sure. So what would have happened if 2 weeks into June, Kelsey would have all of a sudden started being aggressive towards Lupe and kind of, hey, I think we might be more than friends. What do you think? And started showing that. What do you think that could have caused to happen if Lupe wasn't done observing yet?
I think he probably would have just stopped. He probably would have been like, well, I don't know. I think it might have ruined it a little bit because he wasn't finished asking or getting the answers to all the questions he had. And so then it's out in the open. It's kind of past that point where he can like sit back and observe me. And I don't know. I think me being aggressive would have been put a stop to him wanting to be aware and wanting to observe.
I agree.
And that mystery, it was weird because I'm not a mystery. I'm so easy. I'm so predictable to read. And so I was like, I just want to be a mystery. And then I was actually a mystery without trying to be a mystery because he had no idea that I had feelings for him or that I did develop feelings for him because I didn't recognize that I had feelings for him until, like I said, he left. And then I found myself like excited to be like hanging out with him or excited when he would ask me to hang out with him.
So one thing that I heard from that too is that Lupe was not just looking for a pretty face, because if he was just looking for a pretty face, then he would have made his feelings known immediately.
Oh yeah.
And so what I see in that is Lupe was looking for the whole package, and he wanted to make sure that Kelsey had it, and you cannot tell the entire package until you get to know somebody. So take note, ladies, that's what we all want to look for. I've already found it. We as in those of you who aren't married yet. So do you remember, because I know you were friends first, but even in that, do you remember who texted or called who first?
I think, so I needed help with something, and I knew Lupe. I knew I could rely on him. I knew that, because he'd proved that in the past, and he was very considerate, and so I knew, because I couldn't get the lawnmower out of the back of the car, and so I needed his strength to help me with that, and so I called him, and I knew he'd drop whatever he was doing to help me.
You get the lawnmower.
Yeah.
But y'all hadn't had any communication like that before that. So how'd you get his number?
Well, I guess because we were friends, all four of us.
So there had to have been like, if you
Yeah.
already had his number, there had to have been a contact before that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
You can't
remember. No,
Okay.
because
So say if y'all had each other's number, there had to have been
I think
an initial before that.
it was like a group message or something. I just really don't know. It was not me. I know that.
Okay.
Unless I needed
You didn't
something.
say, "Hey, Lupe, give me your number."
No.
Okay.
No,
That
no.
was what I meant. You didn't
Okay.
like request his.
Nope.
Could you give me your digits like that?
Especially
kind of thing?
since
Okay.
it was our freshman year, and I was like, I don't want to hang around you.
Okay, that's when you didn't like him.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know if you added him as a Facebook friend or did he add you?
I have no idea about that either.
You don't remember?
I
Okay,
want to
that's
say,
okay.
yeah, I don't know.
You don't know who friended who.
No,
Okay.
darn it.
Did you hint around when your feelings changed or did you wait for him to share his feelings first?
Oh no, I definitely waited for him to share his feelings first. I did not at all give any inclination. I may have flirted more.
Batted an eyelash?
Yeah, I may have
Okay.
started batting an eyelash intentionally.
Kind of like anointing yourself and putting on your nicer clothes, but not
I think so.
not
Maybe-
actually.
Maybe not even that. I think I might have tried to chase him away, maybe push him away. Like,
Really?
I probably didn't dress up as much, or I've kind of tested to see if my outgoingness would push him away, because I'm an introvert. But then, like, if it's just a small group, like Taya or somebody, then I'm kind of an extrovert. I'm kind of crazy. I think I started like ignoring his text messages maybe, or taking extra long to text back. Or yeah, when he
Played a little hard to get.
I did. I think I did, because there was one night he was texting me, and I was dyeing my friend's hair, and I was just he knew what I was doing, because he left, because he was using my laptop, and he left, and then I left when he was gone, and he came back, and he texted me. He's like, "Where did you go?" And I was like, "Well, I just went with my friend." And he's like, "Oh, you're dyeing your hair, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" And I just took longer to text back, and I was kind of short and brief with my replies. I think just to see if he was willing to fight it a little bit more, or fight more.
It's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not playing, I mean, they're talking about playing hard to get. I don't know that that's considered playing hard to get. I just think it's not playing easy to get.
Yeah.
You know, like the difference, like hard to get is they're so scared that they are not going to try because they think you hate their guts. And then there's not easy to get, which means, okay, you're going to have to work a little bit harder than that to win my heart. So cool. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The masculine nature is defend, protect, conquer. I actually wrote that word. So guys have it in them to want to defend and protect women. Like we talked about, women have the ability to carry life. Men don't have that ability. All they can do is defend and protect it. And so when they have that initial desire to conquer in a good way, not like conquering, you know, the enemy, but conquer in a good way and win you. And they want to do that so that they feel worthy of your affection. If they didn't have to work for it, then they're like, well, there was nothing thrilling there. And so as we watched all these, you know, guy talk videos, we even saw that when it was kind of like Miley versus Kate, even the guys that said they would ask her out, it was just like, well, to a party. I mean, a quality woman, though, it's going to take a lot more effort to win her heart. So basically, if a woman pursues a man first, then what you're doing is robbing them of their God-given desire. And so they are going to be more likely to push you away. They're going to be more likely, I think it was Tarak that said, if they start that, then it's my initial reaction to then push away, because that's not what I'm interested in and not what I want. And I'm going to tell an extremely embarrassing story from when I was in high school. and I was dating a guy that I actually met out at camp, and he invited me to his Amarillo High homecoming game. And so we went to the homecoming, and I had the big mom, and he had the garter, and we had a cute little picture taken together. And so I decided, this is so embarrassing, I decided to take the picture and have it framed and wrap it in a little gift bag with perfume sprayed all over it and deliver it to his school. That didn't go over so well. And I just couldn't understand why he wasn't just so, overcome by my sweet gesture to deliver a overly perfumed bag of gifted picture. And he's probably thinking, we have been on one date. You are a creeper. So I think he broke up with me like a week later. It didn't really last. And I would say it's because I was a little bit over the top, didn't really pull back like I should have, like Kelsey did, and kind of not text. We didn't text back then, but not call and not send ridiculous gifts and all that kind of thing. So again, ladies, I'm talking about quality men. I know that there are guys out there who are scaredy cats and they would much rather not do the work, but that's not the kind of quality guy that I would hope any of you would even consider, because a treasure has to be sought after. It's not just out there for everybody. And so I would hope that you would all deem yourselves worthy of being sought after and not just available to any guy who's cute. So I'm going to give you a challenge, and then we'll go into our discussion. But the challenge is, when you meet a guy that you're interested in, number one, let him ask you for your number and let him call or text you first. Just kind of have that be the rule of thumb of, like, you're not going to say, hey, let me get your number for this, or let me give you my number. Let him ask. Let him be the one that has to be brave enough. Let him be the one that has to be offended or hurt feelings if you say no. Number two, don't add him to social media. Twitter, Facebook, I don't even know what people, Instagram.
Snapchat.
Thank you. All of those. All of those things that all I know about is Facebook and email. But don't add them to any of those things. Let them seek you out first. Let them stalk you on social media. Don't stalk them on social media. So number three, establish standards and boundaries before you ever begin a relationship. And then only date a guy who can respect those standards. So we're going to go into that more next week. That actually is the topic next week, is how to set healthy dating boundaries. And the thing is, it's kind of like the best time to go to the grocery store is not when you're hungry, because you'll buy everything. The best time to establish relationship boundaries is before you're with someone that you're mesmerized by. So we want to talk about how to set those on the front end. So anyhow, that's it, and we can go into our discussion time.